Did you know that when you go on the stage and there's people who are listening to you, giving you their undivided attention, that is a privilege? Did you know that it's an honor to be the person on the stage that is sharing the information? I don't care if you are an educator, if you are a researcher, if you're a performer, presenter, salesperson, author, anybody that's on that stage is in a valuable position because you have a lot of responsibility. One of the number one things you need to know is your audience. Who are you speaking to? Now, when I say know your audience, I'm talking about know them as much as you can. You want to know, are they beginners? Are they at the middle, intermediate level? Are they advanced? Where are they when it comes to the information that you're teaching? And that's the big challenge because many of us don't know because when we're speaking in front of crowds or we're speaking to the public, you never know who in the audience and what level they're on. And so in this video, I want to share with you how you can survey the audience, how you can figure out who's in there and survey it like a master presenter, where you can then help them the most as well as survey that audience so that you can also be able to make some profit and some progress off of it. Because again, this is communications worth millions. Yeah. So I wish I could put the intro right here, but I'm shooting from my phone this morning, so I'm not going to edit this. We're just going to go raw. Tell me if y'all like the raw style videos or not. But let's get directly into it because this is a very important thing. So I want to give you at least 3 to 5 strategies. I'm freestyling off the top, but I'm gonna give you 3 to 5 strategies that you can use to survey your audience like a boss. All right, and you can figure out a deeper level of who you're talking to, who's in that audience, and it's gonna help relieve you with kind of dictating how you move and do things. So one of the first things, if you want to figure out who's in that audience, is you do your preparation work in advance, right? If you have some sort of, let's say you did an RSVP list or you had people sign up with their emails, perhaps you can send some type of survey to them, a quick survey. Like you could do it on social media. What you could do is you go live on social media and say, hey, I'm doing this event tomorrow. If you're going to, be there, when we talk about X, Y, and Z, you can have a poll on that video and that people can respond to the poll, and you can ask in a poll like, hey, is astrology some, or not astrology, I'm saying astrology because I just did astrology event yesterday, but whatever you're teaching, it could be a health event, it could be something dealing with investing in real estate, and you ask people like, hey, are you an intro, middle person, like what's your level of education, right, experience, should I say. Boom, and they can fill out a poll. That's one way that can help. I just randomly thought of that, but I don't think that's necessarily the best way. But that's an idea. But let's say it's the day of, and you just showed up, and now you just got to figure it out on the spot, and you don't know. So the way that you go about doing that is a couple ways, few ways. I'm not saying these are the only ways, but these are a few ways you can do it. So one of the first things is you do questions and answers at the very beginning of your presentation, somewhere at the top of it. Either you can do the questions and answers, or you can want somebody on your team do it. Like literally, you go up and doing questions and answers at the beginning is one of the best things you could do, because when you do that, it begins to raise up energy, excitement. People feel more involved in your presentation when they can ask a question, right? People love to get involved, most people. And what happens is you can tell what level they're on by some of the questions that are being asked. And you don't even have to answer all the questions. You don't have to answer each question. The way that you do it is you just have, like, I'll go to a group and I'll just say, hey, what are some of I just want to know what are the things most important to you? Let's make the most out of this time. What's on your mind? And you let somebody may say, yeah, well, um, I want to know how do if it's, let's say hypothetically, I'm talking about investing. I want to know, what should I invest in? I have no idea what the best investment should be. Okay, so that lets me know this person is a introduction person, possibly, right? If they have no idea on what type of investment industry they should be in, okay, cool. And I understand exactly where their mind is at. I don't even have to answer that question. And then I'll say, okay, that's a good question. I'm going to address that throughout the presentation. Boom. Now I ask any other question. Someone else may say, yeah, well, you know what? I've been investing for the past 15 years. I'm in real estate and I'm looking, there's a new strategy and a new program that exists. I want to know, what do you think about, if I'm getting a W-10 rollover loan, how do I then get that and be able to protect my taxes? If I get a loan like that and I make money. So now this is a way advanced person who has a specific need. And you say, man, that's a really great question. Boom. And so now as you do your presentation, okay, I got this advanced person who's interested in specifically protecting his taxes and another person who don't have any experience at all. And that's perfectly fine to have the two different dynamics in the room. Now you know where their mind is at. So when you're giving your presentation, you can present based on, all right, for the intro person, hey, this is the part that you should really be paying into. This part, what I'm finna say right now, this is more important for you. All right, and you specifically go to that person, you say their name. Hey, thank you for answering that question, John. Boom. And then you too over there, Karen. You're awesome. You ask woo woo woo. All right. And then here's another thing you can do. If you really want to get to know your audience and survey them, you can become like a facilitator, and because you're going to have some people in your audience that may know more about the topic than you do, or not more about the topic, but they'll know a lot. I'll say that they'll know a lot of information. So some of the questions that the crowd is asking you, people in the audience may have the answers to, because, and so that's why at the beginning you can say, hey, I'm pretty sure we have some people here who are experts as well. And by the show of hands, if you have a lot of expertise in this industry, let me see. And then once you see, you can kind of ask and say, all right, someone just asked a question about how do you protect yourself against taxes? Is there anyone in here who's been in that situation before, who has their own solution? Boom. And then somebody can probably raise their hand and they can then speak and they can give you, boom, their experience. So now you have an interactive learning experience, and those are usually the best ones when people can interact with each other. Okay. Now I know you're probably thinking, I don't want to lose control of the crowd, and stuff like that. You're not going to lose control of the crowd, especially if you're watching this channel. All right, you're going to be good. All right, that's first. Second, again, people still want your opinion. So it makes you look even more credible when you can let someone else speak, and then you can then follow up and you give your take on it, right? Because it's showing that you're confident. It's showing that you're helping the community. You're helping them help each other, even when you're not around. You don't think that you just know everything. And it's also allowing you to gauge where your audience is at. You can see what type of answers they're giving. You can see what type of questions they're asking. That lets you know a whole lot just by doing questions and answers. And I say you can do it at the very beginning of your presentation. All right. Now, you don't have to do it at the beginning. You could do it towards the middle, but don't do it at the very end. That's a big mistake that a lot of speakers make, is they wait to the very end to do their questions and answers. And then what happens is, they only remember the first. Most people, when they go to a event, they will usually remember the first thing they heard and they remember the last thing they heard. So if the last thing that you gave them was some answers from the crowd, then it was weak. You didn't finish with a good call to action. You didn't finish with reminding them of your primary message. And so you kind of weakened all of the work you just did. So do your questions and answers either, make sure you have you don't conclude with that. Always have something else to say to conclude and to close your speech again. Not your speech, but your presentation. You close again, so that way the last thing they heard was the message that you want them to walk away with. All right, and not just something random from the crowd. So you do quite, but again, that's another video. I'll talk about that in another video. I talk about these in my books too. So get the books, sign up to the classes. But anyway, so let's get back to it. So if you do the questions and answers at the beginning, that's also great. But again, surveying that audience by having them ask questions, you ask questions. All right. I'm going to drill that in. A lot of speakers don't use this, but this is a great tool to use when you do that. And then another thing, like some speakers, what they'll do, they'll just say, have people raise their hands. Hey, by the show of hands, how many people are beginners? How many people are brand new? And so you can start quizzing them. There's another way you can figure out, like you can ask some questions and see what people, how new or advanced people are. So you can ask a question about, you can use a term, right? And I'm going to use this example because it's fresh on my mind. So yesterday I was at an astrology event. I'm only using this example because it's a fresh one on my mind that I just saw. All right, but this applies to all type of events. I don't care if it's, again, health, romance, relationships, whatever, wealth, whatever. If, let's say, if you're an astrologer and you're teaching people astrology, and you're trying to see, are people beginners, are people advanced? So you'll have a section of your speech, your presentation, when you say, hey, how many people know, and you ask an advanced question, how many people know exactly, where their north node is in their house, and the transits of their north node? Now this is an advanced question. The average person, a brand new person, is like, what? So, and get someone, and then you can say, look, you can look at the hands and see. I personally like to get people to talk, but I always preface that and say, hey, it's okay if we interact with each other, but literally we got to keep it to a minimum. Okay. Keep it, and I'll give them a time. I'll say 30 seconds, 60 seconds, right? And that's when you want to have a timer in the back, or you have another person on your team who plays the role as like the enforcer in case people talking too much. Boom, they like, you know, they tell them to shut up, and or they tell you to tell them to shut up. So that way it don't come off like you're just being the asshole. Okay, so um, but yeah, those are a few ways you can survey the crowd. Again, you can have a real live survey where you pass around and people fill out the actual survey at the end. That way you get to know your crowds better. Again, you can do a poll beforehand. Also, you can do some sort of a like an incentive where you want to reward somebody, and you say something like, before you do your event, you maybe have like a contest, and you say whoever fills out this form or this survey in advance, one of the people will be picked, and you're going to get a free consultation right on stage. And boom, you do that. So right on stage at the beginning, you get someone who won. Hey, I'm gonna have a winner come up, Christina, come on up, and we're gonna give you a free marketing makeover right in front of everybody. It may only last 5 minutes, or maybe 10 minutes, but now this shows your expertise in action. People get to learn from actually watching you do something real, but also, you know, you then are marketing your services. So now people say, hey, I want you to do the same thing for me. Hey, how much is it going to cost? And now people sign up. So these are just different ways to survey your audience right then and there. These are just a few. Um, but I hope this helps, man. I can go on and go into some deeper ones, but that's what this channel is about. But more so, that's what my school and my classes and courses are about. So, hey, I am your platform partner, the Hustler Homie. Remember that you want to know your audience, who you're talking to, is very, very important. And you want to practice this stuff because I know it could be difficult. You can't apply all of these things that I'm saying because you got a limited amount of time. You want to stick to your presentation. But understand this: your information and your content is not the most important thing. That's where the speakers mess up. They think that, oh, my content more important than anything, so I just gotta get my whole presentation out. It took me 2 weeks to put this together, and so I'm gonna tell you all every 90 minute of every drop I got. You finna get all of this information, and when you squeeze too much information in, you are squeezing your people and your audience out. All right, because the human brain can only retain so much information. Most people, when they leave a presentation within 24 hours, they have forgotten over 70% of what they heard. So you don't want to over squeeze it in. It's a little different if you are recording than you just trying to get all of the information on video. That's a little different. So I could respect that a little bit more. But there's always an exception to the rule. But in general, if you're trying to serve that audience, you want to help them internalize one primary point a little bit at a time. And so it's about that interaction that you have and really helping people create light bulbs in their own head. And the more that you can do that, what happens is you people are going to then want to refer you, because a great presentation is one where people they felt like they had an experience, man. So it's more than just they just sat and heard a bunch of damn information that they end up forgetting. So keep that in mind. Do what you do, and I'm gonna keep on staying true to who I am. Hey, subscribe to the page, man. Why do I gotta tell you that? Hey, I'll holler at y'all later, man. I gotta go. Peace.